Good morning, everyone, and welcome to the show. John Henry Soto here with you as always. It is Monday. Happy Easter to all those that celebrate yesterday. I had a beautiful day yesterday. It was gorgeous here in Nashville, and we had a wonderful time with the kids at the church, picking eggs and doing all the other Easter stuff and eating too much. Great time yesterday. Hope you're all doing well. It is April 6th, 2026, 7 a.m. here in Nashville, Tennessee, and getting ready to start the show here. As always, this is a live morning space for artists, filmmakers, musicians, creators who are navigating the real world of making art. On this show, we talk about positivity, but not the fluffy kind. We talk about what actually moves, what actually stops artists from moving forward, the struggles we all face, and how to move through them with clarity and with purpose. We'll also highlight the good things happening in the industry. We'll share ideas, suggestions, and practical advice, but most importantly, we'll have honest conversations. As always, this is a morning live show. So if you're here, please feel free to ask questions, join in, and this is a place to reset, get grounded, and start the day moving forward as an artist. And good morning, everyone. We're going to be talking about something that's I'm working on and some stuff that I'm doing here in Nashville with some artists that I'm very excited about. And I think it's sort of like, and I don't know how y'all feel about this, but I kind of feel like we're going into a different, I don't know, it may sound corny, but sort of a renaissance of something, a golden age of something where we're almost like at a reset of things, and I know I'm not being no conspiracy here. I'm talking about a reset about with the creative world where the big gatekeepers in Hollywood have sort of realized that their gates are not really as big as they think, and that no one really is approaching those gates to begin with anymore, because the power of the creativity, the power to create, that creativity is now a lot easier to expand on with the technology that we have, with social media platforms, cameras that we have, great cameras. Hell, our phones can do an amazing, amazing footage these days, and it's just getting better and better. So there's more ways of a creative person to be in control of how they create and where they actually show that creativity, and how raise money, and how they it's just much more controlled. Same thing with music. We're in this AI phase, which I kind of feel that AI people just really got tired of it with Sora, the last platform that had to pull the plug on a lot of things because they were just doing things that were a little bit, I don't want to say reckless. It's just that it was a new toy and they didn't really know how to use it, and they thought that getting old footage of Mr. Rogers, wrestling Jimi Hendrix was going to somehow make it interesting for people. And I think people kind of were like, oh, that's interesting. Like, we know they're both not alive. So now everything online is being questioned. Everything is online being questioned. And that can be dangerous, but it also can be a little freeing, because people, I think, are sort of you know what? I don't know if this is real or not. I'm gonna ignore it. And people want to have real experiences now. And there's something powerful about bringing artists together for a shared vision. Whether it's a band forming around a new sound or a film crew building a story from the ground up, the energy that comes from collaboration is unmatched. Each person walks in with their own experiences, influences, perspective, and when those pieces start to connect, something bigger than any one individual begins to take shape. It's not just about the end result, it's about the process of discovery, where ideas evolve and grow through the collective. This is something I was thinking about the other day, where I was driving somewhere and I was thinking how a lot of the process is, it seems like the technology wanted to just take away our process. That was their goal. It's to make things easier, right? I mean, because that is what technology does, right? Our cars are smarter, our phones are smarter, our homes are smarter. Um, there's a lot of less things that we have to focus on that maybe were was mundane and maybe not important, and it's just the minutia of life that technology kind of handled for us. I can shop on my phone. I can have food delivered right here to my door. I can go shopping from a supermarket and they'll deliver all my groceries right to my house. These technologies are good. They make life, easier. These things where now I can focus on other projects and other creative things as opposed to having to do these cycles, right? So for that, it's actually great. But what happened is that they started jumping into areas that the process is the actual fun of it. The art of creating a song, for instance, is sitting down with a piece of paper and a pen and an instrument and crafting something that's in you, some crafting a feeling, an emotion, and putting it on paper and then expressing it and showing it and presenting it. That was the process that was the whole fun of it. So the discovery was the process of discovery. And when technology made it where it said, okay, now you don't have to have the process of discovery anymore. We're doing it for you. People were like, oh, cool. And some people fell into the trap and they started using it and they started. And then after a while, you realize, oh, this is horrible. This is not creative. This doesn't even look real. This is a robot trying to be creative, and I'm using a robot trying to be creative. Well, yeah, of course it's going to suck. There's no soul to it. Art is the spiritual connection with each other. That's what art is. So, this idea that the conveniences are seeping into our creative consciousness is really where the mistake that the prompters or the technology geeks are making. And it may be long term, and in the short term they're making their money and they're really happy and stuff, but they're not presenting something that in the future people are going to look at and go, wow, that was really great what they did. It's going to be the opposite. It's like, wow, that really sucked and it took away a lot from our children and our youth, and the creative space between projects. Remember, there was sometimes there was you were bored when you were younger. Remember, you were just bored. Well, during boredom, you can come up with ideas and creative things because you have that time. Now it's like I can't be bored. I can't be bored. I can't be bored. And there's always something there. It doesn't give you any mental space to put something in, to put to for something to come in, something spiritual, some anything. It's just you're so blocked and confused. And putting artists together in a room is really something that I love to do, and it's what I'm working on here with the new band for Isis Christopher, who's one of my artists that I work with. I'm very excited about what we're putting together for her, and we have a new band. We're having a big meeting coming up this weekend with the new band members, and it's just going to be a wonderful, wonderful thing. I love doing it, and you never know what to expect, and that's what makes it exciting. Film. I have a new film that I'm working on as well, and again, I haven't even casted yet. I'm trying to find people to cast. I have a couple of people that have volunteered to help me with the project, and it's a wonderful thing, and just bringing people together. In music, like that connection can almost be immediate. Like it's like a language when people connect. That language doesn't need to be spoken. A rhythm, a chord progression, a melody, and suddenly everyone is locked in, creating something that didn't exist just moments before. That's the exciting thing about art, is that you woke up that morning, you had no idea what the future held. You had your little writing book, as I always mention, my little writing with my notes and any kind of creative things that I come up with, and you go to it and suddenly there's a brand new thing, brand new creative thing that wasn't there this morning. And that's exciting. That seems to be disappearing more and more because these platforms are making it so easy for us to live our lives that we forget that uh there's this moment when we should be sitting down and really just staring into the sky, not into the sun, but just staring out into the abyss of whatever's in your environment, and thinking about love and thinking about connection, and putting together those thoughts in a creative form where you can look down and be like, okay, this means something to me. This emotion that I'm feeling right now, I want to turn this into a film or a song or a poem, whatever the case may be. And, you know, in film, and in music, there's rhythms, right? Like in chord progressions, and suddenly everyone is locked in creating something beautiful. In film, it's a different rhythm, but it's just as magical. Writers, directors, actors, cinematographers, they all bring their craft into alignment to tell a story that resonates. In those It's in those moments, whether in a rehearsal space or on set, where you realize you're part of something living and breathing. And this is what AI cannot do. It cannot breathe, it cannot live. It is not alive. Yes, it's making really fun things, and people who are really into it and they're like, "Oh, this is so cool." They're just losing. If they ever thought of being creative themselves, they've realized, or at least they've lost that ability to a certain degree, because now they're realizing this box in my hand can actually create the same thing that I can create. And I'm like, and I'm thinking, I had my head, no, it can't. It cannot. You're a spiritual being created by God. There's no way that it can create it. It's creating things pulled off from other people. And this is where Sora and different platforms had to pull the plug, because it's pulling things. You can't just take someone's likeness without the permission of at least the person's estate if they're no longer here. Now we have this controversy with Val Kilmer. I did a show on this last week where I talked about a new film coming up with Val Kilmer. Well, he passed away last year, but his family gave the okay for a project that he was actually already signed on to do before he died. And now they're going to completely use AI to generate Val Kilmer in this film. This is going to be it's the first of its kind, and it's going to be revolutionary, because it's the first time that the family has given the permission to use a likeness. So I think what it's going to do is going to lock down that. I mean, here's the dilemma, and here's something that I spoke about last week as well, when it comes to bringing people together and the creative collective that we're talking about today. If there's an actor, very famous actor, who passes away, 20 years later, somebody with an AI platform wants to create a film, does he have the right to just grab that person's likeness and use it? Or is the family going to have to now, because their contracts now, I guarantee you that their contract now, I know that for a fact, because I'm friends with a lawyer here in Nashville, and she was telling me that these contracts now have to protect your likeness, your voice, your facial features, basically you have to be now you have to copyright your entity, the essence of who you are, meaning your voice and your face and your body type and all that, because it can be used in the future without your consent. And what's going to end up happening is that those actors that do not take this responsibility and do not do that, they're not going to have the power to go and fight. And another thing that's going to happen is, let's just say Marlon Brando, who's been gone for many years, somebody decides they want to take his likeness. Well, what if there's family members, different family members, that want a piece of it, but maybe those two family members, again, I'm making all this up, right? But let's say they're estranged and they're not really talking to one another. Well, there's a new film with Marlon Brando. Well, wait a minute, that's my uncle. That's that's my dad or my great grandpa. I need to get a piece of that because I own that. But do you own it? Well, what if he owns it? What if the courts say, well, you both own it. You got to work it out. Now there's more court battles. It's going to be insane in the future with this AI thing, because people do not care as long as there's money being made. They do not care. I'm sorry. I know that we want to all love each other, and the people that I work with, we love each other, we work with each other, we respect each other, we respect the art. We're spiritual beings, we understand that, and we have this tremendous commitment to want to expand on that and to want to share that with others. But there are people out there who don't care about that. They want the bucks. They want it now. They want to be able to put it out today and make the money tomorrow. They don't care what the consequences are. Once they make their money, they're out. It happens in health, it happens in art and film, happens in music, and it's been happening for a long, long time. People just want to make the money grab. Whatever the thing is, they'll whatever the popular thing is, money grab. Remember reality TV? Oh, reality TV. MTV has this thing, and everybody likes this thing. Boom, very low cost to get in, low production value, no actors, no skill set. We can make a lot of money and exploiting these people. Let's jump in, and now we have all these shows like The Bachelor and all that stuff that to me is uh, whatever it is. That's what it is, right? But it's a money grab because it's very easy to put together, and it's not a lot of commitment, and there's no writing involved. All these things. So whenever there's a AI music now, look how big AI music is on Spotify. Spotify don't care. They're making billions of dollars off of these AI and off of just artists in general, right? So the AI uh, computer. I don't know. Somebody's making money. I don't know who, but somebody is putting out AI music and they're making a lot of money. Somebody's making the money. We don't really know. I mean, I don't personally know who. It might be some company that's all they do, and they put out music, AI, fake music. Um, and it's doing very, very well. Why? Because it's making money. If it didn't make money, nobody would do it, right? So there's no integrity from some people when it comes to art. We have to really understand that you have to get around people that have integrity if you want to uh, create art that resonates and that continues. When you're gone, this art continues. Do you want that? If you don't care, then do whatever you want, right? I mean, that's the bottom line. You can just, um, I don't know, I don't know how you lose your integrity. But if you don't have integrity and you just want to make a money grab, then there's a lot of opportunity for you to do that. Now, something that I'm working on actively right now is creating spaces through my film projects, as well as writers' rounds, open mics, where artists come together, collaborate, and grow. This is really important because if you go back to the old Hollywood system and the music system, if you go back to Motown, I use Motown as a reference a lot because Barry Gordy, what he was doing was he kind of got all these artists together in this little tiny house, in Detroit, and was able to basically create incredible music with these incredible artists. Um, and they all sang on each other's records. They all wrote on each other's records. And it was this wonderful collective of humans, souls bringing this amazing art together that till this day still resonates. It's still great music. All those Motown, Marvin Gaye and Smokey Robinson and Temptations and Diana Ross. It just goes on and on with these incredible artists, right? So this is why I think that we're in a renaissance because there's some artists now that are interested in getting back to that. And it's just something because it makes you feel good when you're surrounded with a lot of artists. They all have instrument like in a writer's round, they come with their instrument, they all have their songs, they have their dreams, and you hear them right there live presenting their song, being as vulnerable as you possibly can because that's what art does. Makes you very vulnerable. You're out there. You're putting yourself out there. You have no idea if it's gonna resonate or not. But the excitement is I feel this in my heart. I feel this resonates with me, and I hope it resonates with others. And that collective is a wonderful thing. And that's what I'm working on putting together here. We have a writer's round happening here on May 13th, which I'm very excited about. I'll have more information on that because that's going to be starting on Wednesdays. We're going to be having those. Um, and and then the band that I'm putting together with Isis Christopher, that's going to be great. Plus my film project, I'm putting those people together. Plus, I'm always available to work on other people's films. I've actually just had a couple of auditions, about 3 or 4 auditions in the last week that went really, really well. I did book one from last week that I already shot it, and it's just a wonderful collaborative thing. But I'm learning a lot, and I'm always learning. I learn something every single day. But makes it truly special putting this together is the sense of purpose and community that comes from it. You're not just creating art, you're building relationships, trust, and a shared belief in what's possible. Those collaborations often turn into long term partnerships, friendships, and even entire creative movements. Yes, the movement is what what I really think is coming right now. I think it's a really wonderful time to be alive. Technology is great. Whatever the news, I'll watch the news, but whatever the news is telling you, it's not true. There's some things happening in the world that are horrible that have been happening unfortunately, for hundreds of years. And it's just a tragic. I did this once where I Googled what was the news happening 50 years ago. I think I picked whatever date or something, and I got all the news stories from them, and I was like, oh my god, I was like horrific things happening in the world. International news. It was like you can pull this out of today's news. It was just as bad. It was crazy. But this is a reminder that at its core, art is meant to be shared and to build something together. That is the reason art exists, is to bring people together. The music brings people together. The films bring people together. All these collaborations is really what the purpose of being an artist is. It's not to just go sit in a little ivory tower and just write your songs and spit them out on the internet. It's to go out and meet and connect with people. That's really where the beauty lies. So that's what we're putting together here in Nashville, Tennessee. And if anybody is interested, if you're out there, if you're watching this, if you're interested, please send me an email. Let me know what your thoughts are. If you're in Nashville, even if you're not in Nashville, I want to know what your thoughts. Maybe you want to do something like this in your community and you need some help. I will help. Email me at johnhenrysoto@gmail.com. John Henry Soto, my name, at gmail.com. Let me know what your thoughts are. Let me know if you want to get involved here in Nashville with what we're working on. And let's get this going. Let's get this. I'm really, really excited about it. This is as excited as I've been in a long, long time when it comes to art. It's happening right now in real time. All right, friends. Well, thank you for tuning in. I have a busy, busy day today with a lot of stuff going on. Follow me on social media if you're interested in what's happening. I would love to hear from you, and I love to connect with you. God bless you all. Take care of yourselves. See you tomorrow morning. And as always, peace.